Hey guys, it's Chase and we are back to episode 9 of the D.O.M Podcast starring Michael. He can't even concentrate. Alright, he's not here, he's in the bathroom. Starla.
Hello.
Hey.
And Caitlin.
Hey.
Alright, and we're all here. We're sloppy as normal. Maybe a little bit worse this week. I don't know what's going on. But
Speak for yourself.
alright, I know I got a fresh new haircut. Y'all will see it in future videos, so be prepared. It's not even going to be talking about movies, it's going to be highlighting my do. And anything new to report this week? Any new movie news? Well, except wow, y'all are great. Well, except for the fact that we were discussing before this, of course, Dumbo is going to be turned into a live action by fellow Tim Burton lover or fellow Tim Burton lover Tim Burton. Yeah,
That's right.
Tim Burton's
he's
biggest
the
fan
Tim
is
Burton.
Tim Burton.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty
guess
much, at this point, pretty much.
Helena Bonham Carter won't be in it.
Yeah, too soon. Yeah, because they're split up. So, but Johnny Depp probably will be a voice of someone, or just he'll play somebody.
Our fear is Jiminy Cricket.
Jiminy Cricket, he'll be the Mad Hatter of this movie. It's not even about him, and he will be the star.
Yeah.
And I just feel like it's going to be a sloppy mess. Well,
I mean, they made Alice, and he was the star. So Dumbo.
Maybe the feather.
Yeah.
what? Why did I that's oh God!
Can you see him just playing the feather?
He raises the feather up, and it's just Johnny Depp.
He'll play,
He's just chill. He's like, "Yes, I'm a feather."
he'll play his left ear.
I think it'll be interesting. A live action of Dumbo.
Yeah, I mean that's
weird.
just
Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna work.
it won't.
All right.
I mean, let's be
Are they
real.
gonna do? I wonder if they'll do Dumbo like get an actual elephant, or if it's gonna be CG and really be something I can.
tear your claws
Mm-hmm.
into? It'll be CG. I mean, honestly, it's about an elephant who has giant ears who finds out he can fly.
Well, I mean, but you.
But I mean, it's hard to do something. They choose ones that are hard to do a live action version of. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
because I love Dumbo, I love it, but I cannot see it as a live action because it's about elephants
that's
and Jiminy
true.
Cricket. So I mean, they would have to make more of the story about the people.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to see that. I don't want to see
people.
people in Dumbo except for the circus people. But
Yeah.
And they were awful.
and they were awful. Exactly.
Every person
so,
in Dumbo
so
was
great.
horrible.
So basically, if I want to be awful to an elephant, I'll just go to the zoo.
you know
and throw
what made
peanuts at
him
it.
decide to
Were
do
there not
it?
boys in Dumbo?
I think so.
Like some little boys?
There was the two crows.
Yeah, the
weren't
little
there?
boys were awful, and the mom grabbed them and
That's what they
spanked them because they were making fun of Dumbo,
yeah.
and that's why she
That
ended
she got
up in
separated.
That's right.
Yeah.
Separated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the yeah
Okay.
So they'll be there.
And the two, were they magpies? Is that right?
the birds.
Yeah. Were the two of
Yeah.
them? Okay.
Yeah. So I mean,
But you know what? I know why he decided to do it because that pink elephants thing. He's excited about doing that.
That's what I was telling him. I'm
yeah,
like,
he wants-
Dumbo's a weird movie in
Yeah.
some parts, so
Yeah.
maybe that's
So
why.
it'll be like a
he
He's
got
calm
it.
excited
down-
about doing that.
it'll be like a
little-
cool
calm
twist
down,
to
lovely
that.
movie until we get to like the little sequence of
Yeah.
pink
It gets-
elephants, and it
it
just
gets
turns into
drunk or whatever.
skeletons and weirdos.
Yeah.
Like it just
He's
shows
excited.
Johnny
It'll be
Depp's
something.
head floating in the dark
It'll
room.
be something with a dark twist to it, just
Yeah.
because it's Tim Burton.
Yeah, I love Dumbo. It's one of my favorite Disney animated movies, and I'm just very nervous about it.
Yeah.
Like Alice in Wonderland, I
love Dumbo.
enjoyed, and I thought it could be really cool turned live action, and I was horribly wrong. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe this one I don't see.
You
Not
were
that
horribly no.
I didn't say it. We all agreed in the last podcast. It wasn't the visuals were great. I just think
It
their
was
focus was
very
wrong.
pretty.
Their
Pretty to
focus
look
was
at.
wrong. Very pretty movie. I would own it straight for the fact that it looked really good.
You turn it down. You go ahead and play some Pink Floyd.
you just take some acid and lay down. All right, so let's get to the actual podcast this week. That was just us rambling about Dumbo. Who knew? I mean, next week's topic can just be Dumbo for an hour.
Hey, I can talk about anything.
Heard. All right, so this week we are doing sequels. We're going to be talking about our best, or at least our favorite, and our least favorite sequel, which is going to be a number 2, which is why it is worst sequel, because it is a number 2 in our mind. So,
Yes.
because that is fresh on the brain, let's go ahead and start with the worst sequels in our opinions.
All right.
Right.
So, I guess I'll start us off. We're
Sure.
going for it.
Sure.
All right, guys, I'm taking it back all the way back. Let me get my sexy voice on ready. We're taking it back to a cool, crisp 1998.
Cool, crisp.
And how old were you?
7?
Harken back, kids.
At least I think it was 98. I'm going to embarrass myself. I should have looked first. I didn't check my sources, but the
Let
worst
you had your
Grandpa
phone
tell
in
you.
front
If only if I had if only there was a little technology around. But basically, my least favorite sequel of all time is Batman and Robin.
Now it is.
Now it is.
Now it is.
Now it is. I was
Then
looking
you
at all.
loved it.
I was looking at all the sequels, and I was looking at a lot of bad ones, and I didn't want to do it but I have to. And I know a lot of people poo-poo this movie, and I poo-poo it for the fact of, as a movie fan, it was made wrong, it was acted wrong, it was just wrong. But But for nostalgic reasons, I can sit down and watch it and just laugh, because it was like, it was a great movie at the time. I know y'all tease me a lot, because when I was a kid and watched this movie, it was like amazing. I loved it. So, like I was pissed it didn't win Best Actor or Best Movie and all that crap in that year. But now as an adult, I watch it and I go, wow, that truly did blow.
Yes.
But basically, as you all know, it has, Chris O'Donnell and George Clooney, Uma Thurman, Alicia Silverstone, poor old man Jenkins, who plays Alfred, who's the only normal one.
Yeah, the
only original
character
cast,
that made it through the whole series.
Yeah. And then when the movie was so bad he had to die, he had nothing left to do.
Oh God.
Because
I think they saved him.
Yeah, they did.
No, I'm talking about in real life.
Oh.
That's even worse.
That's a real life statement.
Oh my gosh.
All right, y'all.
I loved him.
I know, he was great. I loved him.
He's no Michael Caine, though.
He's Michael Caine.
He is my Alfred.
Yeah, I know. I love him. Because he was in all of them. So except
he was good.
He was good. But basically, what isn't wrong with this movie? It's awful. Was it George Schumacher?
Joel
Schumacher. George.
Yeah.
George. See, that's how bad it is. I just made it better.
Joel's brother.
Joel, yeah, his lesser known twin.
Right.
Joel Schumacher, my bad. Well, basically, it just, he just, I don't know what he was doing. He was just having...
He didn't either.
He just had, I don't even know how to say about it. He had...
And he made some good movies, too. Flatliners.
Yeah.
He made that. So he knows how to make a good movie.
He knows how to make a good movie. And then you got
Even Batman Forever was all right. It was a little camp, but it was better than...
And I just think, no one in this movie really was in the movie. You know what I mean? Look at, the only person that really thought he was going to win something was Arnold Schwarzenegger. He really tried.
Yeah.
He did everything he could with what he was given. And then you have Uma Thurman, who just, she just overacted. And then we have George Clooney, who poorly underacted.
Yeah.
Chris O'Donnell was just happy to do something.
Even he, admitted later on that it was
He's just shit. Yeah. And he's the only person who really didn't have a failing career after that. You know what I mean? They all... For real. What else? Come on.
Chris O'Donnell has his TV
Elle
show.
McPherson's still around.
Barely.
Who?
Who? But, oh god. But then it's the plot is, Poison Ivy and Mr. Freeze want to help each other, but it's it's kind of contradicting, because it's plants need sun to live, and they're wanting to have a snow fight, and it's come on now, this isn't going to work. It just,
I don't know.
There's too much to say about this. God dang, it's awful.
Too much. It fell victim to the same thing a lot of superhero movies do, where it's too much going on.
Just too much going on. We had Bane, who was just a weird mess.
Don't forget the nipples.
Bat nipples on the suit. It's just,
gosh.
and I'm just, it's just awful. I wish I could say more about it. I don't want to go over the plot of the movie. We all know what the hell it is. It's just, it's garbage. And then it's you have Mr. Freeze just saying puns the entire movie. All right, everybody, chill. It's just, it makes me so mad that I really just want to watch it just to make myself angry. When you're already sad, you just want to make yourself cry more.
I love to watch things to make myself angry.
Yeah, I just want to watch it and go, God damn.
And you loved it so much when you were little.
Yeah, I know, I know I did, and that's why for nostalgic reasons, it's great. But
I think when you're little, you're very forgiving
Yeah.
about story and plot holes and
Because I just see, because I'm like, oh, Batman, yay.
Was that your first Batman movie?
No, I took him to see Batman Forever like 5 times.
Okay.
Because I had a Tommy Lee Jones thing at the time.
Alright.
Yeah, she had this weird
It looked
fetish.
like I was a great sister, but actually I thought Tommy Lee Jones was really cute in it.
It was just amazing to me. How old were you when Batman Forever came out?
18.
And how old was he? Like 50?
That is never... Age is not a barrier for me.
And wasn't half of his face?
It was cruddy, but the other half... I just seen The Fugitive. I thought he was really cute. Deal with it.
Fugitive's great, though. Yeah, I just showed Caitlin that movie for the first time. It's pretty
really
good.
good.
It's
But,
fantastic.
yeah, so, I mean, this movie, there's not a lot to say about it. We all know it's poor. I just think, of all the sequels in the world, this truly was just not... This was the one. Like, when you look at the top 50 worst sequels of all time, I think this one's pretty damn close to the
it's
bottom.
gotta
Yeah,
be.
it's in the top 3. It has to be. It has to be. And I can't do it anymore. I quit. Alright, well, that's all I have to say. I know that's just not, nothing important, but it's bad. It's really bad. I'll talk more about the good one.
What would you say to Baby Chase headed into that movie to help give him perspective? while watching
About how
it.
bad it is, or
No,
or
Yeah, just to be able to judge it more fairly. Is there anything you could have said to yourself?
if I went back in time and I was sitting next to myself at 7 in a theater, I would just look over and just go, "Get out while you can." But to put the movie in perspective, I would just say, look past the fact that it's just Batman. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, because when you're little, like, you don't, again, like you said, you don't pay attention to the story a whole lot. You don't pay attention to the plot a whole lot, or you know what I mean?
It's
You
a superhero.
It's a superhero. It's Batman. Batman's awesome, and he's kicking ass. Whatever.
Yeah.
But then when you watch as an adult, I mean, that you pay attention to the story and the dialogue and what's really going on, and you're like, this is just garbage. So I would just be like,
Yeah.
pay attention to what they're truly saying, and just look past Batman.
I think a lot of movies are like that. When you return to them, like revisit them as an adult, you just think, "What was I thinking?
Yeah,
there's
some
Why
it's
did
like,
I love
it's
this?"
like, why did I
Because
like this?
You like
Yeah.
anything as a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as
Doesn't
it's
hold
got
up.
something you
I
like
know.
in it, then
I get a
it's
little
all
scared
good.
to rewatch things I know
Yeah.
I loved as a kid. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, we watched I showed her the animated Transformer movie. It came out like in '84, and some of it was like, ooh,
Oh,
Yeah.
Michael,
I
that's the one that
know.
you like always loved.
loved. I know there's some parts of it that I still like, but some of it was like, ooh,
You still look back
There's
and
things you don't pay
It's kinda
attention to, or
cringeworthy.
things you didn't understand when you were a kid that
Yeah.
now you do,
Yeah.
and you're like, "Wait, that
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense."
yeah,
You're like, that makes no sense to. Yeah, you're like, what the hell? And then Arnold, I don't know. Yeah, it was all bad. All right, so and the fact, real quick, and the fact that Uma Thurman can control plants and is like the god of plants, and then she lands in a giant plant and dies. Tell that piece of shit to stop clamping down on you and open its mouth. Like, let me out of here, dude.
I forgot all about what happens to her.
Yeah,
yeah, I had to. I blocked it
she
out.
gets kicked in the chin and falls in a giant, like,
It's like a
anteater
Venus
thing.
fly trap
Yeah, like
or
a
whatever.
anteater, giant anteater. It falls in its ass. Jesus, a fly. Yeah, Venus fly. Jesus Christ.
You're close.
Yeah, it falls in a giant swamp hole.
Giant anteater.
Yeah,
It's
giant
not a
anteater.
plant.
Yeah, no wonder it died.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that explains it all.
Yeah, she could control plants and fell in a pit of fire. Like, why couldn't she save herself? Oh, God.
Take some people on a
That's
nature hike and be like, "And on your left, guys, here is your exotic anteater."
Yes.
See, I just,
Don't eat those; they're poisonous.
yeah, don't do that. That anteater, no, don't touch the anteater.
Right.
Oh, God. Well, all right. Giant fly trap. Jesus.
This is Mars anteater.
Yeah, this movie has just dumbed me down. That's what I'm
Maybe-
saying. Like, this talking about this movie has
Maybe
dumbed
it would
me
have been
down.
better if Freeze had accidentally got her and frozen her to death.
Maybe. It would have made more
Yeah.
sense.
True, because he doesn't.
And then
kill,
Jesse
does he?
Ventura's in the movie, and
No,
I'm
they
like,
put him in
what?
prison.
yeah, he plays one of the Arkham Guard. They're sitting there talking
Yeah,
shit to
he
him.
does.
Oh God.
They were hoping that Predator would just find its way in, which would have made the movie like it had been like this awesome Batman Predator crossover. Like Freeze is in his little ice cage, and then Jesse Ventura goes in there, and then there's just like a Predator dot missile, like just getting ready to kill
Yeah, I
him.
don't have time to freeze.
Oh,
Nice.
oh,
Well done.
love it, beautiful. All right, well, Caitlin, you are up with your worst sequel, in your
All right.
opinion.
Well, first of all, I'm not a big fan of sequels in general, unless it's a series. If it's a series like Star Wars or Harry Potter, something like that, where it's meant to have sequels and ones
Yeah.
after that, then that's great. But just a regular movie having a sequel, most of the time they're just not necessary. It's
Yeah.
just added stuff that doesn't need to be there. It doesn't further the story. It's just there. And it changes a lot of things, and I'm just not about that.
Yeah.
I don't like change.
We got some quarters. And,
Mine is Peter Pan 2, Return to Neverland. Because that,
Peter Pan poo.
yeah, pretty much. It was just total crap. It's been forever since I've seen that one, but that was one that I remembered I really didn't like. It's about Wendy's daughter going to Neverland, basically. Have you seen that one?
No.
Anybody?
I won't see a second Disney movie at all.
Unless
Okay.
Toy Story.
Toy Story I forgive because it's Pixar. Now I trust Pixar. If it's Disney
What about
something.
Cars
I
2?
think now they've
Cars
got
two, I haven't
some
seen.
that they're
Okay.
thinking about more, but they did for a little bit where they would just churn them
Yeah,
out.
they were
Yeah.
trying to make
And
money.
like the
No, there's some that are
direct-to-video.
just trying
Yeah,
to
they
like,
were
there are
very
a few
hit
that
or
are
miss.
okay.
No, there's
Like
some
I
that are
told you,
okay,
I
but,
like
like, there's
The
ones
Little
like-
Mermaid 2, you know.
Yeah, but
thing-
at the time they were just trying to make money. Like, okay, we were talking about this before they got here. It was Cinderella 2 and 3.
yeah, those were
Yes.
both total crap. I
Cinderella
almost
2
picked those. I had a hard time
and
not.
that angers me because it's done. At the end of Cinderella, haven't we resolved this?
Yeah. That was my next
yeah,
up. That was
like-
one of my maybes on my list because those are awful too. Just some.
You got a 4.6.
There are a few Disney movies that they can continue, or they do a different story. Like in Little Mermaid 2, it's about her daughter. In Lady and the Tramp 2, it's about Lady and Tramp's puppies, growing up. And that's or one of them specifically. But those, they kind of further the story a little with their lives. But a lot of them, they just change the story or they go back. And I know that it's Wendy's daughter, so it's supposed to be furthering the story, but it's just like a lot of it is pointless. It doesn't really go along with the stuff that happened before in the movie. She is a little brat to Peter Pan and everything. She doesn't believe in him, and I didn't like the way they laid out that movie. I didn't like the characters in it. I didn't like the story. I just thought it was totally unnecessary.
Well, because it loses what it had, that kind of
ruins it.
Yeah, because
the
Peter
first one
Pan
had
was a
that
good
charm
movie.
where it's like,
Yeah.
it's about Peter Pan. He's going to see Wendy and all that stuff, and it makes it fun,
Yeah.
And then they try to redo it, and then
And
they
some of
just-
those you just can't touch.
you
You don't
can't
need
do
to add
it.
this to the story. You don't need to change it or go back in
Well, the
time.
fact-
Like I think the Tarzan 2, it starts him out as a kid.
Yeah, and
It's like
it's
that.
and that's
There's a lot of
it's
things you
Tarzan
just don't
2,
touch in those kind of movies.
but he's a little kid again. So it's not Tarzan 2. It's Tarzan half.
Yeah,
Yeah.
0.5.
0.5. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it's like then there's Tarzan and Jane. So it's like they're just trying to milk it. And
I
then it
think
loses its
Disney does that a
charm.
lot, and there's of several movies they should not do that with. There's very few, like probably about 2 of them that I've liked ever. I just don't like Disney sequels.
I
so.
think they prey on those kids that
Yeah.
don't ask questions and don't wonder about it, and they're just
they're
like,
oh, it's
another
another
one.
one,
Well,
yeah,
it's like
because
at
they
home,
loved it.
It's
so.
like when we have a lot of the Disney ones and the Blu-ray packs where it's like the only way we could get the first one is if it came with the second. It
And
comes
I
with the
hate
second
that
one.
too.
So it's like I love the movie
Ugh.
Atlantis, love that movie, but it comes with Atlantis 2, and I've never seen it, and I've heard it's shit, so I don't want to see that one. And then there's Brother Bear, I love that one, and it comes with Brother Bear 2, and I'm just like,
Yeah,
one of these.
like
And
Fox and the Hound does, yeah.
Yeah, Fox and the Hound
Pocahontas.
is one of the greatest.
Yeah.
Fox and the Hound is one of the greatest Disney movies ever.
Right.
It didn't need a sequel because it had the loving story of their friendship, and then just where it all goes wrong, and then just how they both kind of are content.
Yeah.
They just know, like, I'm not going to hunt you, we can't be friends, but go do your
Yeah.
thing. You know what I mean?
It's over. The
It's
story
over. The
is
story
resolved.
is over.
Mm-hmm.
And so it can't be done again because it loses
Yeah.
its charm. It's like if you take, like, Casablanca is my favorite movie of all time. If they got that and did Casablanca 2 50 years, 70 years later, and they're like, it loses its charm
Yeah.
because it's not
Yeah.
the same thing. It's not.
I think it's very hard for some movie makers to just know that the story is done. You did
They're
such
just
a
trying
great
to make
job.
extra money.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
trying to
Get
milk
money,
it.
they'll
And
do
it's
it.
like,
Yeah.
come up with something new. Be creative. Don't
Yeah.
turn something new of something that was already there, because that just ruins it for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's stupid. And like Peter Pan, we talked about, it doesn't need to have it. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
doesn't. It had a beginning,
was resolved.
Had a middle. It was resolved.
yeah.
Yeah.
Don't need a second one because in Hook's in this one too. He
See,
died.
and that
He's
doesn't
the
make
last
any
got eaten
sense.
by an alligator, or was alluded to that he got
Yeah.
eaten by an alligator.
Yeah.
And this was then another way to milk it because it's like, oh, well, maybe he really didn't die, and we can bring him back as a.
Yeah.
Then it's like, no, then you're just doing the same thing.
Exactly.
It's just all garbage.
Yeah, just basically the same movie.
The same movie, but with her daughter.
slightly
not her.
different people.
Yeah.
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 Same
Just
story, but it's
slightly.
their kids.
Yeah.
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 That's
Yeah.
your
Exactly.
every Disney sequel.
So it
Yeah.
didn't need to be done. It just.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
so Peter Pan was mine, but just in general, Disney movies
As a
mostly, and like I said, sequels in general. If it's not a series, but specifically Disney doesn't really need to do sequels because it's been a long time since there's been one that I liked at all.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I think,
trying to think-
that's one they really messed up with.
Yeah, 'cause I'm trying to think of a recent Disney sequel that was actually pretty good.
I'm
and
not
usually they
sure.
don't put the same care into them.
Yeah.
The animation doesn't look as pretty. They
Yeah.
don't have as much going on
yeah.
as far as, I mean, story, obviously.
Story, yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
it's just like direct to video. What's
The
Yeah,
way
it's
it
like
looks, the
we can make-
voices, the songs,
I'm gonna have to
nothing
think
has
about,
as
I'm gonna have to
much.
think about that.
I
'cause,
know
like,
you
a
mentioned
recent
Cars
Disney
2, but I thought Cars 2 was okay, but that's not Disney.
Yeah.
And then-
Pixar.
Well, what I've heard
Some
about that
are-
one is again where we go back with like the charm thing, because like the first one was like if you took all the people, took them out, and made them cars. Like the cars were just living their lives, and he was a race car who went, thought he was big shit, and then got to a little podunk town, and that was what it was. The second one apparently is like some gigantic spy movie, and it turns in like they took the characters
They did too
and
much.
and made too much out of it. Like, they took away the simplicity of what the first one really was. Like, if you watch Cars, it's not that difficult. It's very, very simple.
Never
Yeah.
seen it.
You know, it's this car who's very
Yeah, watch
cocky.
it.
He wins a lot of races. He's a race car.
Yeah.
And falls asleep and gets lost out of his little truck that takes him to the next race.
Oh, yeah.
And he lands in this little podunk little country town that people forgot about. And so he's trying to just fit in there, you know.
Well, he's spoiled. He just thinks it's awful.
Yeah,
it's like,
he thinks it's awful.
What is this?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just the simple thing because there's no people in it. It's just cars and, like,
Yeah.
airplanes, which that's where they got planes from because
Yeah.
there are planes in it, too. So, but since,
And
like,
Planes wasn't bad.
I haven't seen it. I've heard
either.
I've heard it's pretty good.
Yeah.
So I think it's just they took that and made it worse. So that's why I haven't seen Cars 2 yet. I don't want it to ruin the first one for me. You know, it may be great. I may see it and like it. I just don't want it to ruin what I already like. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Agree.
All right. Well,
We all
good choice.
agree.
Yeah. Disney,
So,
We
get
got
your
this
crap
covered.
together. Disney, you hear me? I know you listen to my podcast, but
Yeah. They're monitoring it
yeah,
closely.
they're like, there he is. We mentioned her name. All right, Starla, let's do it
I don't know.
because we know what she's picking, and we don't agree. So let's go.
Well, mine is different in that it's not really a bad movie. It's a bad sequel. It's a bad sequel. Mine's Kill Bill 2. And I tell you why it's bad. I saw the first one and I was madly in love with it.
great.
We saw
It's
it
awesome. It's
great.
several times in the theater. I love the look, I love the feel of it, I love the action, the
Kill Bill's
gore,
Awesome.
over the top. I mean, the backstory, the dialogue, the
Yeah.
music. I was pleased. I could not wait. I walked out of the theater and told Michael, I can't believe I gotta wait a year for the next one. I was so excited about the second one. And then I saw it.
And you're like, I can't wait to go home and watch the first one again.
And this is
Right.
exactly what I told Michael. It went from this action film that was very reminiscent of Eastern samurai films, and it was meant to be. And the second one's meant to be a different feel, but it is so different. You go from this action film that's so sleek and cool and modern to a custody battle with a little bit of fighting. And I've seen that. I don't need to see it in a movie.
Yeah. I feel like you looked at me when you did that. Custody battle and fighting, Mom. I love you. That's
You know what I mean, though? I don't need to see irreconcilable differences. Okay,
No,
I can
I mean-
rent that.
Yeah.
I got.
Kramer
Okay, my
versus-
first
She's having a
problem
very hard
is
time right now.
She is.
I don't like it. It felt dusty and dirty and icky and stinky.
That's just
and,
Michael.
And it's meant to be a little bit
Sorry.
because the influence is westerns. So of course, all westerns they look dusty and icky and stinky and all that.
And
That's
dirty.
fine. But if you are a person that enjoys, I'm so
So much
happy
hate
everybody.
right now.
I know. Your passion is just driving
I
us
know.
to have that.
There's
passion.
too much venom. I gotta get it out.
Venom. Wait, like the stuff from Street Trash?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But if you're a fan of Eastern-looking films and that cool, sleek feel, and then you get to this stinky Western, I don't want to see a stinky Western.
Stinky Western.
If I want to see a Western, I want you to cram it full of Emilio Estevez and Charlie Sheen and pretty boys so I can get past the fact
Pretty
that they
boys.
probably stink. So, seeing Kill Bill 2, first of all, she barely kills anybody. In the first one, she kills everyone because it's a revenge film. She is out for revenge. Then we get to the second one. She's got 3 people left on her death list. She kills one of them.
Don't spoil it.
And this is the thing.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
So
Yeah,
the
don't-
death list is
don't look at the
Don't
out.
talk
title.
about Kill Bill.
Yeah, don't look at the title.
The death list is out the window now because she found out her daughter's alive. So now it's about watching them watch movies, which I don't want to do. I don't want to go to a movie and watch a mother and daughter watch a movie. I'm not even seeing the movie they're watching. I'm seeing them watch the movie. So it's like we're watching each other. I don't like that.
God.
And then the kid that they pick for their
Oh.
daughter
Here you go.
looks nothing like either of her parents. And I got a big problem with this because the whole thing is, oh, it's your baby, Bill. No, it's not Bill's baby. It's not even Uma's baby. I don't even know who this baby belongs to. She's adorable, but she's someone else's kid. She doesn't look
To
anything
be
like
fair,
anybody.
Bridget barely looks like Mom and Dad.
She looks like your
But
grandma.
I'm not making a film about mom going around and systematically killing everybody to search for her daughter. I wouldn't cast Bridget in that role. I love Bridget, but I wouldn't cast her. None of us match. I'm talking about the movies where you can pick kids that match the parents identically because you get to select them. You see them before they pop out.
Stop hitting me.
Yeah, Starla, calm down. Put the chair down.
I know.
I'm so, and then
Put the knife
the
away.
whole
Yeah,
point.
jeez. I
Take
didn't think you were
leads to
this
suffering,
passionate about
Starla.
No,
Kill Bill
the
2.
whole, I gotta get it all out.
All right, here you go.
The whole point of the whole movie, obviously, from the title, is Kill Bill. So we get to the final Kill Bill scene, and it is so anticlimactic. It is, what was going on with the truth serum? What is going on? Why are you giving her truth serum? Now I gotta listen to y'all talk it out. And then I'm like, okay, are they gonna be okay? Are they not? Now it's like an episode of Sex in the City. I don't know what's going on. And then, no, it turns violent now. Now they're angry again. Okay, now here comes my fight. Nope. Now we're talking again. Now we're fighting. Now we're talking. Now I'm gonna tap him 5 times and he's dead. And that's fine. But, and I don't even mind him dying that way. What I mind is all the leading up to it. It would have been like Samantha and Carrie all of a sudden getting angry at the coffee shop and talking it out and stabbing each other, and it's done. It doesn't make sense. This is a I don't even know. There
To
was
be
so
fair, though, that would have made Sex in the City way better if Carrie Bradshaw would have just stabbed her.
And then I know that this had a point, and I don't want to hear it, but I don't enjoy the flashback to the training. I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy 30 minutes of watching her be trained. I know you know how to do stuff. We covered that. I don't know why I'm watching it now. I mean, it was worse than any kind of Rocky montage of somebody training. Oh, fine, you're trained. You're trained. That's great. Get to your list. Quentin Tarantino sold me a bill of goods in the first movie.
No pun intended.
And it had a list of 5 people I wanted to see killed by the end of that movie. Right?
Well, no, she wanted to have revenge on these people.
Not necessarily kill him. She wanted
So,
to
she
kill,
would kill Bill.
She wanted revenge on the other ones.
and you know what? Oren was the best character in the whole movie.
She was very cool.
Oren was the best character in this whole movie.
You just like seeing her walk in snow.
I love watching her walk in snow. I love that Lucy Liu was, I mean, everything that she shot in this movie was beautiful. It was beautiful. All of her scenes were beautiful. The music, her lines, I enjoyed her character, and I felt like she was the only one who actually felt some remorse and accepted her fate.
Yeah, that's true.
There was this moment in their fight. It was beautiful. It was such a beautiful fight. And then what happened? What happened? And that is why it is the worst sequel, because it let me down so profoundly. And there are bad sequels that you know are going to be bad going in. I'm not tickled about Dumb and Dumber 2, but you know, I didn't go into watching it thinking, oh, I got such high hopes for this one because I love Dumb and Dumber and this is going to be awesome. It's been like 48 years. I knew it wasn't going to be perfect. You know, so you watch it hoping for the best, but you accept that it's probably not going to blow you away. But I was so ready for Kill Bill 2. I was ready for it.
You were born ready.
And I was
Ready.
let down. I don't think I'll ever stop being angry about this. And it's been 11 years. It's been the
Christ,
life.
It's been 11 years?
It's been the life of my nephew since I saw this, and I'm still angry. It let me down.
I feel like I walked with him and said we should watch Kill Bill 2, and then this is your response. Like, this is pretty hardcore,
It let me
man. This
down.
is some passion.
It let me down.
You blew mine out of the water. Because we already knew how bad mine was.
Because I pondered this. I really thought about this, right? And I laid down to go to sleep one night, and I said, I've got it, Kill Bill 2.
Jeez.
And I knew. It's not a popular opinion. There's lots of people that love this one more, but I guarantee you those people like Westerns from the get-go.
I don't
I
love it
don't
more.
like it more, but I don't think it was as bad as...
It was horrendous. I'll have nothing to
So
do
you
with
don't
it.
like, but I still think that the whole scenes with her and Michael Madsen was real cool.
But
whole
that
stuff
does
was
not a
cool.
good movie make.
Yoda.
You know what? Let's
That does not
Well,
movie
did
make
you,
good.
did you like her and, what was her name, Ellie's fight? Did you like
that
that
was
in
kinda
the trailer?
I will say this, for the most part, the fight scenes were good.
Where did it go wrong?
I think
when did you
already,
know it?
Yeah, like when you're sitting in the theater and you're sitting there watching, and you're like,
can we leave?
just the whole look of it. The whole look of it.
so
The second I saw Michael Madsen with a mullet, I knew I was in trouble. I know, because I love him. I think he's beautiful. Yeah, he did. I think he's beautiful. I met him in person,
my
and you know what? He's
God.
still beautiful now. But he looked like Eugene from Walking Dead.
Oh,
It was so upsetting.
God! He did not look like you. No, he did not look like Eugene.
He had Eugene's hair. I don't know what was going on there. So you take your prettiest person. Now that Lucy Liu's not there and she was your prettiest person, you've given Michael Madsen a bad hairdo and made him unpretty.
But how
There's
many people
where
out
it-
there thought that he was pretty in the first place?
Oh, he knows he's pretty. So, right when I saw his hair, I thought, oh, no. This is not going to be good. And then he's broke and he works at a strip joint. Oh, and you've taken away his hope and his hair.
God. I
Wow.
feel like we need to sit you down and watch this movie together. Like, this is because Caitlin hasn't seen it, so she's not going to go into this with
No,
high
she's
intent.
not. And she's not going to be happy after.
She would,
I didn't know any
After
better
the
before
movie,
this,
or-
and now
Yeah.
I
Now
know
you're
better. All right.
Now you're scared.
Yeah,
listen
I'm
here.
frightened.
Listen here.
I get that it
It's
was
not
meant
that
to
bad.
be.
It's not that bad.
It's meant to be two different styles. I get that. But it agitates me. Because it's like George Lucas messing with things. You can't do it, Quentin. You can't give me one and then give me what is this? Just make it two different movies or don't do them at all. I'm so frustrated. I'm more frustrated because my standards for Quentin are so high. I've enjoyed even my least
butthole's
favorite.
burning right now. I feel
Yeah,
like you
can
just
you-
taught me a lesson.
Can you skip me? 'Cause I don't want to go anymore.
Yeah, mine's just like, I'm
No,
gonna go.
Django was my least favorite of his movies and I enjoyed it. I mean, even other than Kill Bill 2.
So, yeah, I was about to say, then that kind of defeats the. I mean,
No,
that's, I mean,
you
that's
know
not
what
a
I'm
sequel,
saying.
but just.
You know what I'm saying? Even Quentin Tarantino's like pizza. Even bad Quentin is still pretty good. But this one just let me down.
Man.
Holy crap.
Damn.
So there you have it.
Okay.
I've
That
dropped
was
the
his
mic.
own podcast.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like the last
Himself.
podcast, yeah, Starla just dropped the mic. I talked for 2 minutes, Caitlin for 4 minutes, and Starla for 25.
For an hour and a
27
half.
Minutes, yeah.
Yeah, well,
Holy crap.
don't worry, mine'll be quick.
Aww.
Yeah.
No, it's
I
fine.
feel like we're all in trouble.
Yeah.
I feel like we just,
I get
just
very,
got told.
I get very passionate.
We're all in trouble.
I know.
You're not
She
in
just,
trouble.
she just told
We
because
us.
you
all
haven't
got
seen it.
served.
She just told us off right now. She's just like, listen here. Now go to bed.
I had to be passionate about it because when you found out what movie I was going to do, you gave me a look.
I let you know.
Like I just
Starla.
told you I was going to quit my job to be a storm chaser. You gave me that look.
Storm. But you know what? I'd be supportive. I don't support this. You can do whatever you want to do, but I don't support this decision.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of shit sequels out there, man.
There's
a lot.
There is. I could go
but
on
there's
and
a lot,
on.
But there's a lot worse.
But I chose this one because no other sequel has disappointed me so much.
Do we need to go back to Amazing Spider-Man 2?
But I didn't have very high hopes.
All right.
You know what I mean?
All right.
You know what it is to walk into a movie and have such high hopes, and then you see it and you go, "Oh man, I placed all my hope in the wrong thing." Michael does. He saw episode 1.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, it had Darth Maul, so. That
It
was
had, and see, that's the thing too. They'd had its
Okay,
Yes,
but
redeeming stuff.
my Darth Maul would be the couple of fight scenes that are good in Kill Bill 2. The rest of the time I was eating popcorn, watching someone else eat popcorn, watching them watch a movie, watch me watch a movie.
I feel
You say that 5 times.
that was some Inception shit right
I
there.
know.
Yeah.
It was.
I'm pretty impressed.
Yeah. Where's the kick?
It was
Wake
like
her up,
that,
hurry.
In my
that
stomach.
scene in Spaceballs where I'm like, what the hell am I looking at?
Yeah, you're looking at now.
Yeah.
You're looking at Uma
What's that in
and
the
her
movie?
daughter eat some
Looking at
popcorn,
you.
looking at you eat some popcorn
Right.
while looking at them. It's like I'm looking at you, looking at me, look at you. Yeah.
Which one of us is in the movie?
Yeah. Like, that's the thing he was trying to implant in your brain. You were the movie the whole time.
Oh,
It's
he
your
was
daughter.
actually genius.
It's
He's
your
cheap.
daughter.
Yeah. Yeah, it's your daughter. Oh my god.
She looked more like me.
Yeah, Jesus. Alright, well I'm putting you in timeout. It's Michael's turn. You think about what you just said.
I know. I'm
You
sorry.
just sit there and you think about a young lady.
It had to be said.
It had to be said. All right, Michael, you are up, my friend.
Shan't follow that.
As his favorite, he chose, sadly, Kill Bill 2.
It was, ironically enough. No, I chose The Ring 2 as.
Yeah, this one I agree with.
This
Yeah.
one is a stink burger.
Yeah.
The Ring 2 is
See,
no
I
way
don't,
no.
but I don't
I
feel
still
as
haven't seen that one.
Ooh.
You don't want to. It's
I
okay.
don't feel as passionate about it as Straw does with Kill Bill 2.
He did
I
when
don't
we walked
think
out of the
anyone-
theater.
I don't think anyone is as passionate as Starla.
Yeah.
Aw.
Aww.
But we saw The Ring 7 times in the
Yeah.
theater. We loved The Ring. It was such a good movie. It was. I think at the time, not a lot of horror movies were as smart. You know, it was very. It was like it was a slow build. It was very
Slow
subtle.
build and
yeah,
And
it
just creeped you out.
It was very creepy, and it was creepy when it needed to be. It was, I'm not a big fan of the jump scares where it's just a loud noise and you're gonna jump, not because it's scary, but because you hate loud
You hate
noises.
the noise. Yeah, the noise.
So there were a couple of those, but a couple is fine. It's when they overdo it that I have a big problem. I think like in the Friday the 13th remake, that's all it was, and I was like ready to walk out because it just gets on your nerves. But no, The Ring had the perfect balance of all that. And yeah, I had so much high hope for it. And I think that, and I tried to do a little research before this, but I thought the original script got leaked.
That's what I had heard.
Yeah, and they made some changes to it. So what we saw wasn't what was intended. So I can kind of buy that. That kind of makes you feel a little bit better. Like it's
You
not.
want to believe this
I
one's
wanna
a
believe
mistake.
that.
I wish they would just make it. Just who cares?
Yeah, and
Redo
you know what?
and make
It
how it was
was
meant to be
it was the
made.
guy who made the Japanese version. We're like, oh wow, so this guy is coming back. You're thinking, cool, he's gonna do a
he's
really
already,
good job.
He already did this.
He
Yeah.
already did it. It's like the one we talked about with the books or whatever podcast it was. The story's already there.
Yeah.
You think it'd
there
be-
shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, you think
Yeah.
they'd have an easy time doing it, and especially with more money.
Yeah, bigger budget. You already
Bigger
have a
budget.
fan base.
But yeah, I thought the CG was just really bad.
Oh, it was
like
awful.
Yeah,
her
it's-
coming up the well.
Yeah, coming up like
With her legs
with
going
her
over her
leg,
shoulders
like a
some
spider.
sort of weird spider.
Yeah.
the deer.
The deer hitting
deer
all that,
hit
and
the
the
side of the car,
slow
it
mo
just-
was like, all these gimmicks that it
Yeah,
doesn't need.
because then they turned it into another
stupid horror movie. Yes,
Yeah.
that
because
relies
they
on
took
jumps.
something.
And
Yeah,
then I'm
like
not
you, yeah.
tripping,
It relies on
mommy.
jump
I
scare.
hate that.
Yeah.
I wrote that down too. It's like, oh come on, that's like how Sliver ended. It's just or let off some steam, Bennett. It's just
Let off
come
some
on, please don't. I can only handle so many cheesy lines, but yeah, that was so horrible.
He's got a limit.
It was
Yeah.
so horrible.
He can take. He likes a double cheese patty, not 4.
But yeah, I just and I liked all the relationships in the original one. It wasn't a normal mother-son relationship. He seemed way older than he really was, and I thought at the very end, things had changed. She took care of him, by making a copy of it, and she was acting like a mom. And then with this one, it just kind of seemed like all
went
sequels
backwards.
do. It just it went backwards. It was like Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Sorry, Aiden.
I know our nephew's
Yeah,
cussing at
not
us right now.
nephew. Our nephew Aiden, not Aiden from.
Yeah, which by the way, he was named after the ring.
That's where
yeah.
he got his
Yeah.
name. Yeah.
A fantastic name from a fantastic movie.
Yes.
Followed up by a
That's why I
Steve
demanded
Burger.
Bridget call our nephew Ryan the Ring 2 because it's the lesser of the two. Oh, I'm just kidding.
Damn.
I just wanted to. All right, I'm sorry. I just burned some bridges.
But yeah, it just seems like they tried to start over again. Like with the Disney sequels. It's just the same story, but we'll change it up again.
Altered enough to where it's like.
Yeah.
And I remember there being a teaser that came out, the promotion for it, and it had the dude who played the boyfriend from Pretty Little Liars season 1.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't
remember his name.
Yeah. Final Destination.
Yeah, Final
3.
Destination. Yeah, Final
That's
Destination
how-
3. So it had that dude, and it was like him and his girlfriend.
That's kind of how it was supposed to have started
Yeah.
again. Yeah.
And it was like him and his girlfriend. And that
Yeah, and it was really cool.
And
Yeah, it
that
was cool.
got you going because they're sitting there. They're getting ready to watch a movie.
Right.
And they watch this. They find this
And
tape.
he shows
they watch,
it to
yeah,
her.
he shows it to her.
Because he misleads her.
Yeah.
Because he knows what's going to happen. So he's like, okay, I'll show it to her. So that'll be rid of me. But then I'll just make sure that she,
Yeah.
shows it to somebody else.
So I mean,
But
the
then,
hype around
it
it was
doesn't work
great.
out.
Yeah, because she got scared.
Yeah,
and-
she got- yeah.
Yeah.
So it ended up getting him anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that teaser was awesome.
That was good.
That was good because
I watched that over and over again.
Yeah, I watched that for
Ring
2 hours and go, that was a great movie.
And all the stills from it, production stills, they were great.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah.
But I think it wasn't the same little girl, was it? It wasn't Lilo?
No.
Okay, so it wasn't Lilo.
Somebody else.
It wasn't...
The same kid plays Hayden.
But he was a little older, and he was already a weirdo. But it was like... it was like subtle weirdo. And this one was like super weirdo.
He was full-on weirdo.
He was full-on weirdo. And I think... the Scary movies... are a little irritating, but they nailed that kid perfectly in Scary Movie 3. Because they just it's so irritating. And then Naomi Watts, like you said, she went backwards. She went from being like, okay, I'm your mom, I'm going to protect you and do this thing, to just like, now I'm Rachel again, I'm not even your mom.
It didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It was very weird.
Caitlin, you're not missing out. I can honestly tell you that is one movie, unless you demand to watch it, I will never show you.
Yeah.
I can see you coming in and throwing down your stuff and demanding.
Well, no, but I can understand.
Give it to me now.
No, but I can understand the curiosity. You know what I mean? Like, because I can
Yeah.
understand if you were like curious and want to watch it, because you like watching scary movies, but it's not worth it. You will watch it and go, it almost ruins the first one for you. Like,
Yeah, it
to
gets
me,
really
it
close.
almost
Well, that's another thing
gets
where
really
it's like,
close.
why do you need a sequel?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets really close to
most
ruining
of
the
the time
first
are
one. Yeah.
unnecessary.
Yeah.
It didn't need to be done, but it had a lot of hype. I think I think it still did okay.
It did pretty good. Like
just
the
because
first
the
week,
following.
Yeah, and then once you realize it's shit, then
They're like,
Then
they're like,
it tapered off.
yeah, they're like,
oh, this is a bad movie.
Yeah, this is bad.
Tell your friends.
And I know they did announce The Ring 3, and I don't know if it just got shelved or if it just
I'd
what they're
imagine
waiting
so.
on. They did announce it. I just don't know what their plan is with it. I mean, maybe they realized, oh god,
Yeah,
this is not going to be good.
bad.
And if it's my opinion, if it's going to be a straight to DVD, don't come out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't come out
That'll
because
just run it more.
because there's a lot. I know there are a lot of good movies that were straight to DVD that are pretty solid, but it lessers it.
Mm-hmm.
It lessens it. It's lessers it. Lessens it. And then it's like how they did Stuart Little 1, loved it. Stuart Little 2, Stuart Little 2 is based off the book. The first one wasn't. So the second one they based it off the book, which is good. And then the third one wasn't animated. What? They give me Stuart Little 3 and be animated. You know what I mean? It's just like they just
gave
wanted,
up.
they gave up and they just wanted they couldn't get any of the same actors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they're like, let's animate them.
Yeah.
So it's like it just lessens how good the first two truly
Yeah.
were, or the first one, and it just poisons it because they're calling it Stuart Little 3, and now you can't take it away. It's out there, it's in the world, it can be seen, it can be watched, and now it ruins it because now my last remembrance is Stuart Little 3, not Stuart Little 2 or 1. Like, I don't care to look at this piece of shit one that I don't want to watch.
Yeah.
And so the book was great. Have you all read the book? Yeah, okay.
No.
Yeah, all right. But yeah, no.
We don't read shit.
We don't. Yeah. What's a book?
What's a book?
Yeah,
What's a bok?
Bok. Yeah. But yeah, no, I can understand. Yeah, Ring 2 just
Yeah.
Yeah.
Horrible.
just poo. Ugh. But yeah, we tried to do a little differently in this one. We wanted to do the bad one first and just rant because we like to rant.
Yes.
So if we
Some
can
of
just,
us do.
Some of us do.
All right.
Yeah, Starla, I know. Please, on this next one, will you talk a little more?
Yeah.
Like,
No.
we got some.
And speak up.
Yeah, louder, please. Oh, it's okay.
We're
That's-
teasing
let the
you.
end-
That's part of my
Let
womanly
it go.
essence.
Yeah,
We
let
love
it
you.
go. Let it go.
Yes.
Yeah, jeez. I know. We went almost an hour just talking about the bad ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy
So let's
crap.
get into the good ones.
All right.
Do
So
it.
let's do it. Let's start talking about these good ones. Let's
Do
get
it.
straight. Do it.
Now we know for next time, if we have anything negative to talk about, just do one question.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Just find
I was-
something we're very passionate about that we
Yes,
hate.
That we hate.
I was about to
One
say a
question will be
joke,
enough.
but it would ruin my career forever. No, I'm just kidding. All
Whoa.
right, all right.
Calm down.
So now, all right, let's get back to the good ones. Let's get back
Okay.
on the good because it's weird. Like when you like a movie, you don't talk about it as much. Like you
Yeah.
did, like y'all just said. Like you don't want to rant about it. You want to talk
Yeah.
about the good things you like. It's done. So
Yeah.
I'll jump right into it. And in my opinion, one that there's a lot of great sequels. Caitlin asked me about one that she ended up choosing, that you'll find out in a minute. But it's like, I was trying to think of one that we had talked about. It is better than the first one. It helps further the story, and just as a standalone, it's still real good. And I was trying to think of one that it makes me happy to watch. I think it's really beautifully done, and that is the Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers.
Well done.
Here.
Yeah. Good day, bye. Like, in my opinion, honestly, because it's like, okay, the first one, you have where, Gandalf, they're fighting off that giant monster thing, and Gandalf falls to what we think is his death. So it's like, okay, he falls, and then they all kind of go their separate ways because they start this fellowship to get Frodo to Mordor to destroy this ring. And then it ends with them going their separate ways. So you're like, oh god, like, I mean, unless you read the books, but you're like, oh god, what's going to happen? And they do a good job at making you interested in all of their stories. Because when you first meet them, you're like, I don't really care about the short one. I don't really care. And then this one, it makes you care about it. Like,
I hate midgets.
And not even Frodo. What's his name? I mean, the hairy, bushy troll. What are
I don't even care about that.
No, I can't remember his name.
Gimli. Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, you're not passionate about them yet because you got introduced with them. They like closer to the end of the first one is when they get together, really, about the middle, and then you kind of are still learning about them. And this one, you get to learn more about them. You get to spend more time with them because you're not introducing them anymore. Now you're following them. They did with this one what the Hobbit couldn't do in Smaug, because I still barely cared about half of the Dory, Lori, Shorty, and 40. Like, I really don't give a crap. So it's like in this one, it's like you have Sam and Frodo, they're going their way. You have, oh god,
Aragorn.
Aragorn. There you go. I was like, I can remember his name. Morgan Freeman. Aragorn. You have Gimli. You have Orlando Bloom. Legolas. Yes, you have all those guys, and you care about them, and you have to. I mean, you are curious. Are we going to see?
Well, they're going after the other two hobbits.
Yeah, that's right. Kidnapped. Yeah, well, that's but that's a little bit later. Taking the hobbit size, God. Well, no, because you have Merry and Pippin, which they're taken a little bit later in the second one because they're still around. In the second one, they get taken. So, right? Yeah. It's
because
Michael,
Sean Bean,
Michael.
Sean. They get
Is it the end of the first one?
Yeah, because they kill.
Oh, that's right. That's
Sean
right. Okay,
Bean,
no. So the end of the first one,
Don't question me, dude.
Damn it, Michael. So Merry and Pippin get lost because they start battling with a bunch of orcs and stuff. So
and they get kidnapped.
They get kidnapped.
Because they're looking for hobbits.
That's right.
They're told to kidnap
That's
them,
right.
so they grab two hobbits, thinking it's Frodo.
That's right.
Because how many of those could be running around?
I know,
right? This one also, besides that, and then, you have Merry and Pippin, you're trying to find them. Sean Bean is great. Mm-hmm. You have all these people you really care about, and then you have just the inner workings of the story. So you have Aragorn trying to figure out, what is he up to? Who is he? What's he up? Where does he belong? Where's his stance? Then you have them just trying to get an army to help them, and then you have Gandalf, like, where's he at? Is he alive? Is he dead? They think he's dead the whole time. Mm-hmm. And then you have the introduction of Gollum finally, because you kind of see him kind of creeping throughout the first one, but you don't ever see him really.
Yeah.
It's the first time
they talk about him.
Yeah, they talk about him, and then you kind of see him every now and then, shadows, but you don't ever get to see him finally until this one. And that's
Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis, yeah, and this is the first thing I saw him in,
yeah.
and he did great, and this is where he kind of got his career going, for at least I think, is what started his career, and the music in it's great, visuals it's great. It's when Peter Jackson gave a shit, and he actually
didn't rely on
CGI. He took them to New Zealand, which is still there. It didn't go anywhere,
right?
So it's like
the passion.
He used real places.
I know. What's this?
Yeah. No, he took him to a real studio and had a green screen. That was real.
Yeah.
That was a real green screen.
Yeah, but it's just like the acting was great. You cared about everybody. I think it was Elijah Wood's best movie. I think, in my opinion, I think he did his best in that movie. I know it's kind of, you can only do so much with Frodo Baggins.
I like the second ones of the Hobbit and of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
The second ones are good.
Yeah.
Because you've got all the intros out of the way.
Yeah, and I know Elijah Wood's done other actual movies, but I think of these, I think it was his best movie. And Sean Astin was a good secondary character to the
he's the real
Baggins. Yeah, he's poor bastard. I would have left Frodo to die a long time ago.
Oh my God!
Damn.
I mean, he loves him. He's his best friend. But I mean, Frodo was kind of a dick.
Well, it's that ring.
It's that ring. I know it's that ring. And then also you get the backstory of Gollum. You get the what happened. How he became Gollum, and you kind of get this thing of, is Gollum really trying to help him? Is he trying to hurt him? Like, what is he doing? Is he just
I don't think he knew.
He didn't know either. Yeah, my precious. Like, he just was coughing every 2 seconds. Like, no, it's basically all he said in that one. But it just overall, I'm not going to talk a whole lot, but it's just overall.
Too late.
What?
Yeah, what? 3 hours later. But the second one is the best in my opinion. I think just everyone did such a good job. And
I understand.
Yeah,
that.
and I think as a continuation, as a standalone, and just it was overall better than the first one.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people do argue that of the three, it is the best one out of the three.
I would say that.
I
agree
Yeah,
with
even
that.
though wasn't the third one the only one that won and stuff?
Yeah, well, I think it won because
it was over.
It was over.
It was over, and they wanted to give it something.
Something, yeah. So, but yeah. So,
yeah, so they just gave it Best Picture.
So, yeah. But if you ask... that just baby, yeah. But if you ask anyone out of all 6 movies, which one is your favorite, almost everybody will say The Two Towers.
Yeah.
So I think...
Yeah.
It was great.
And you almost didn't see that one.
And I did piss a fit because I did not... Piss a fit.
Wow.
Well, I was
That's
trying
gotta hurt.
Yeah, I pissed a fit. It was hurting. But no, like Starla Michael wanted to take us all to see that when I was 11 years old, and I refused. I was just so angry. I was like crying in Movie Tavern. I did not want to see that movie because at 11 or 10, I guess, I saw the first one, and I did not like it. It was so boring, and that was a good example of when you're younger, you don't appreciate the dialogue and the actual story and the movie itself. You're looking at what's going on.
Yeah, I'm just watching a bunch of weirdos talk.
And to be fair, the first one,
walk.
I'm saying, talking and walking all day. And to be fair, the first one was majority of that until the last 45 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, because it's a 2.5 movie. If you have the extended, it's a 4-hour movie. So I mean,
did you see the extended version of Two
we
Towers?
we started to watch the first one. We're about halfway in the first one, but it's 2 discs.
It changes
And
a
then-
lot.
Does it?
Caitlin decided she wants to move on with her life and to have a real life.
No, but see, here's the thing though. As a fan, I was getting oh my god, that was just. It is very long when you watch the extended ones.
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
But they're so good, and the second one is so good.
I had a hard time watching just the regular theatrical.
It changes everyone's character.
Does it?
It talks about how old he is and how he's not quite human.
Oh wow.
Which I had no idea. Yeah, he's something else. He's in his 70s, I think.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
Looking good.
It was interesting. I was like,
looking good.
I had
Looking
no
good.
idea.
Yeah, that's well, and that makes more time. I need to actually watch them when we get to watch them again. So they're very good, and in my opinion, the best sequel to a movie.
Okay.
So I will take that.
Well done.
That was me dropping the mic. I'm jealous of Caitlin's pick though. So Caitlin.
Yeah, I was surprised that Chase didn't pick this one. Mine is Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
No, I want that one. Take it back. You have 2 towers.
Too late. I asked you and you said no. So I took it. But I loved that movie. I thought that it was a great sequel, the best I've ever seen. It furthered the story a little bit. Chase doesn't think it does.
No,
but I think it furthers the story. But
I feel
his
like
argument is that
I
it
do
has
too.
to do with.
Well, no, it doesn't further the story. No, because it's a sequel to the first one.
Yeah.
It doesn't further the story completely to the first one. It references the first one.
Yeah.
But it's a continuation of the Avengers, not the first Avenger.
All that Bucky
Well, that's
stuff.
good enough for me.
Well,
there's
it
always-
references the first one.
Yeah. Well, Bucky is a big character in that one. Like,
Yeah.
the Winter Soldier
Well,
is
I'm
him.
not
So
saying- all right,
it's,
everyone.
it is
Now, all
a
right,
big-
you're turning me against my own
And
creation.
that was his friend. Like, it's a huge continuation
Yeah,
of
I
that. If you
This
ask
isn't
me,
Frankenstein's monster. Don't pick at me.
No,
Yeah,
I think
he's
it's a huge
forgetting all that.
continuation. I thought there was a lot of action in that one. They're having to deal with the shield being compromised and all that.
Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah.
Chris Evans and Scarlett Johansson did a good job acting in that one.
And
it
Zola,
was really
love
good.
him. Love Zola.
That
Yeah.
just everything in that movie was
No, it was
fantastic.
great.
Yeah, I
No,
will
it was
change
awesome.
that
I
one
loved
name.
it.
The
No,
action, the
and-
characters, like the humor, it was all
Yeah,
great.
and I
It
told you I was
fantastic.
torn. I was torn between this one and Two Towers. I was just trying to think of just one that still stands time. This one's still fresh on the brain. I was trying to think of one that just was overall just still good. You know what I mean? And great from how long it's been around. So
Yeah.
all right.
But I really enjoyed that one. I enjoyed the way it started, the way it ended. It kind of leaves room for it to continue on
Yeah.
later. And I just think the way they laid it out and everything, I thought it was a really good storyline to continue on and to have some new stuff as well, like you said, to continue with the Avengers story, because they all tie into that. Any of the Marvel movies, they have to. So
Yeah.
But I don't have a lot to say about the one. Just short and sweet. It's fantastic.
Are we talking about the movie still? Or?
Oh my gosh.
Oh God.
Good Lord.
Whoa.
All right, Starla.
All right, Starla, you're up.
I'm not going to be as crazy and passionate.
No, I mean, say what you want to say. Like we
like
that.
that.
Yeah.
All right.
It makes it entertaining. This is all about Starla.
All right. The best sequel is, in my opinion, The Godfather 2.
Yes.
The 1974 classic.
Oh.
It is fantastic. It won Best Picture.
Hey.
And the next movie to do that was actually Return of the King.
Yeah.
See?
So it took, almost 30 years to
That's crazy.
to have another movie win.
That's a sequel.
Another sequel win.
Yeah, another sequel win.
Yeah.
It's cool.
But, I mean, it took home 6 Oscars in total. Jesus. And was nominated for more than that. I think it was almost 10, 12, something. I mean, crazy amount of Oscars.
Yeah.
And it was something that they were planning while they were filming the first one, because the buzz was so positive around the first one that they went ahead and started working on the idea and the concept for the second one. The first one,
smart.
Yeah, I mean,
it makes
I
it
think
easier to kind of get it.
Yeah.
It's like with all the Marvel films. I think when you plan it out and you think about where you want things to go, it makes the sequel make that much more sense when you get to it, because the story just continued. It was like, here's what's going on now, and it just kept going.
Yeah, there's some versions you can buy that it's got both movies together.
Yeah, they put them, because there's a lot of flashbacks in the second, and so they put it in chronological order where you could watch the flashbacks on into the first, on into the second movie, and made it just one big movie, and it's fantastic.
It's cool.
I mean,
I need to see that one then.
Robert De Niro won for Best Supporting Actor playing young Vito Corleone, and he had to learn Sicilian for the part.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And spoke almost all Sicilian for the whole movie.
All his parts.
So I mean, it's just magnificent, and everything you see that has to do with Al Pacino and Michael Corleone's story was original material. Everything else was based on the book. So the fact that they wrote original material predominantly for his story, and it still was great, and it still held up.
No, that's pretty good.
To the book itself.
It makes it make sense.
I mean,
it's not like some weird
that didn't seem out of
bonus
place.
crap that didn't belong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it gelled together. You can't tell.
Yeah.
And it's been voted by Entertainment Weekly the 7th greatest film of all time, 6 behind its predecessor. So it's right up. I mean, it's the highest ranking. I imagine it's changed with Lord of the Rings and that type of thing. But it's a fantastic movie. I think it's better than the first one. I think it really.
A lot of people. I've heard a lot of people say that the second one's better than the first one.
I'd have to say that too. Yeah.
Yeah. It really is. It's heartbreaking and beautiful. It's very much the,
I know the whole thing with his
empire
brother, with his brother.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking.
It's the empire of
of
the empire
gangster movies.
Yeah.
But I just and I think it's important at some point for my youngsters here to see this movie because Chase thinks that Al Pacino's been in like 3 movies.
What are you doing?
And he thinks he yells in all of them.
And Devil's Advocate, and
it's very upsetting to me because Al Pacino is so great in this.
That's okay.
And definitely Godfather 1 and 2. And just to see the journey of his character, it is so wonderful and tragic and just, and also kind of called for. Who else would do it but him? Who else could step up and fill his father's shoes? And you learn kind of about his siblings and everything, and you realize, oh God, he is the only one that could. But how awful, because he was the only one that was trying not to be a part of it.
Yeah, he wanted to be a soldier.
Yeah, he was, and his father really didn't want him to have to be involved in the family business. So it's just sad to watch him go from trying to live a straight-laced life where he had nothing to do with his family's gangster background or any of their violent goings-on, and then to go to the leader of it all.
To run it all,
and to be more violent than his father was. And just to kind of see how that happens to him, and it's not this quick turn of character, it just gradually happens.
Just turns into
and it's very sad. I mean, there's and Diane Keaton is just wonderful in it.
Love Diane Keaton.
She is fantastic, and their relationship is very wonderful and tragic, and so it's not an uplifting film, but it is a really great movie, and even though there's almost half of it's in Sicilian, you get lost in it. You don't even realize you're reading half this movie because it's so good. And I'm not a fan of subtitles, and the fact that I can do that is saying something. Because if I have to read, that means I might have to sit really close or wear glasses, and I'm not going to do it.
Squint.
So it's if you haven't seen it, see it. If you've seen it, see it again. Fantastic.
Yeah.
So these two here
Hey,
we'll
now.
be seeing it soon.
I need to see the first one.
Yeah. We'll put you through the first one. I got them all.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You won't have to watch the third one
Yeah, we'll
because
skip
I
it.
probably could gripe about that as a sequel.
I would say,
that let you down.
if we counted the third as a sequel, I think you didn't want to
Yeah.
poop.
Yeah, it was a big letdown. But the first two, fantastic. Don't ever see the third one.
All right.
It'll ruin it.
It just ends after 2. Gosh. And there won't be a 3.
Yeah.
God.
Anything else you want to add? No.
See, I kept that semi-short and sweet.
Look at that.
We're proud of you.
You just had a chubby there.
Jesus.
Lord.
Semi-short and sweet.
All right then.
It's not quite fully grown. It's just there. All right, I don't know what this is turning into. All right, Michael, you're up. Let's.
You would be the only one that knows what it's turning into. The rest of us are like, huh?
Huh? Yeah. You're like, what? All right, Michael, you are up. Let's end on a high note.
Okay. I wanted to pick Empire Strikes Back, but I picked that in a previous podcast, and I kind of consider that as a trilogy, not so much as a sequel. I know.
He's
there's
just
a
calling
lot of,
me out.
I know. It's no Two Towers.
No, Michael, no.
There's probably no big
Well,
difference.
technically,
in it.
Godfather's part of a trilogy. We don't like to talk about
We
it
don't
at
like to talk
parties,
about it.
Yeah.
but it is.
I know.
See?
You can't
I
buy
know.
the Blu-rays without getting the third one. It's
Yeah.
another, Tarzan 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I want Tarzan, not Tarzan 2.
So I wanted to pick something different. So I was torn between Spider-Man 2, not the Amazing Spider-Man 2. Sorry, Aiden.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2. It's the good one.
The Tobey Maguire vehicle. Or X-Men 2. But I went with X-Men 2. X-Men are a little more near and dear to my heart.
Oh.
But I
It's
thought...
Wolverine's ass.
That's it, yes. Love him. But I thought X-Men, the original one, was a big step, I think, for superhero movies.
Yeah.
Because the people started taking, and the same for Spider-Man. People started to take it, more seriously. It seemed, of course, it's a superhero movie, so it's not real. But
Michael, what?
It's not? Michael, God!
sorry,
Caitlin,
ruin that.
cover your ears.
But I thought X-Men 2 just improved upon it. I enjoyed, how you had, your good mutants and your bad ones, and they joined forces to fight, humans who usually end up being the enemy in all these movies.
Yeah, lots of movies, the humans
talk
are the
about,
bad ones.
Yeah, you talk about, S.H.I.E.L.D., that was mostly...
Bunch of
Bunch of normies, we call
I
them
know.
down here.
Homo sapiens. But yeah, you had, without Spider-Man and X-Men, you wouldn't have the Avengers or Guardians, because had those, I think those tanked, then
they wouldn't have risked
the
it.
interest in
Given
superhero
up.
movies would have been
Yeah, because, you had those two, but then you also had stuff like Ghost Rider and Daredevil and Elektra and all those, garbage movies. So I think...
Oh my god!
So I think for Catwoman kind of sitting
that
sitting
that
in the
was
back.
DC.
Well,
We don't like to talk about those.
superhero movies in general.
You're crossing the streams
Yeah.
here.
Sorry.
You can't.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Michael,
sorry.
we're writing our name in the snow right now.
All right. But no, I think without those, the whole Marvel industry or Marvel Studios wouldn't be what it is today.
Yep. And Sean Ashmore.
Yes.
Iceman for all you youngins
Yes.
out
And I thought Nightcrawler was awesome.
Oh yeah.
there. Yeah,
he's
Nightcrawler.
great.
Yeah,
He
his
was
whole
like one
stuff
of the
was
best
probably the
things.
best thing about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did
Because
great.
that whole thing when he's trying to get to the president.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
One of the
it
best
was
one of the
really
beginnings.
coolest beginnings
Yeah.
to a movie ever.
Yeah, and I read that he spent about 10 hours in the makeup chair for that stuff.
Wow.
And he Mystique and Azazel's baby.
He's supposed to be. I don't think they're going to go that route, but yeah, he's supposed to be.
supposed to be.
But I read that I guess they're at the mall and Pyro and Iceman are showing off and Professor X freezes everybody.
Yeah.
All the people or most people that were frozen were actually mimes.
Oh wow,
So that's how they got to be
Oh,
so still.
that's cool.
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah, and then a couple other things I read was the flashback of Logan where he's coming up from his surgery. He's naked. He's running down the hall. He runs down the hall, turns the corner, and a lot of the female cast members were there. And James Marsden's mom was there, and they're all waving, dollar bills and hooting and hollering. But yeah, I got a kick out of that. But And the last thing I read that I thought was cool was and I'd heard about X-Men 2 trying to be more like kind of like mutants are kind of portrayed as, you know, gays coming out and, you know, people hating them. It's kind of like their modern take on that. Ian McKellen helped write this scene where Iceman comes out to his parents because Bryan Singer was trying to, you know, portray that as, you know, this is kind of what, you know, gays are going through.
Can't you just pretend not to be?
Yeah, because you're in hiding and you're secret of your life. You're trying to
keep it
tell
hidden.
the people that you love the most.
Yeah. People look at you different.
I can see that, and they did it very classy.
They did it in a good way. They didn't do it like,
got the point across.
I'm Iceman.
Yeah. Was it cheesy? You know, it was you know, as grounded as I think a superhero movie can be.
No, it was good.
And I think it also proved that you can pull off a successful superhero movie with a huge ensemble cast.
A lot of people, right? Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of people in this. You know, more than Batman and Robin and all the other.
There's a lot of people.
All the other ones that are bad, but everybody, you know, had a good role. And one thing that I wasn't kind of happy or wasn't too happy with was since Monsters Ball did so well, they made Halle Berry's part bigger. I was like, what the hell?
It's just because her boobs are in that movie. No one cares about Halle Berry. No one cares about Halle Berry. Do you care about Halle Berry? In X-Men.
No, they didn't do a good job of showing off Storm.
Because then she's African in the first one, and the second one she's American.
Her accent comes and goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't figure out what
she is.
Accent.
Yeah, what is she trying to do?
But I feel sad that they didn't utilize Storm better because she's got such a cool ability.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you think you can change the weather?
These are better in Futures Past. I thought.
Yeah, they did better. They did better with that because they utilized her abilities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's like every now and then it's like
stuff all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know what happens to a frog when he gets electrocuted? The same thing as everything else.
Yeah.
I will say one of the few things I didn't like about the X1 and 2, 3, nothing, but it was the way they utilized Scott. Cyclops, because I think
he was a throwaway.
Because in the comics, he's a leader. He's the main one. He is their leader. He's like truly not some just depressing, weird, jealous boyfriend. Like he's not that. He's the leader.
There's a little bit of a titty baby in the movies.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's Marsden's fault. I think it's just that's how they wrote him, and they didn't utilize him barely.
No.
You know, he has an awesome ability, and he is supposed to be that leader of the group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you don't see any of that. You know, and that's why those comics, the X-Men versus Avengers comics, are pretty good because he is the main protagonist.
Mm-hmm.
He is the guy that is kind of starting most of the issues.
Yeah.
And on the Avengers side, you know, so it's like, or the X-Men side, sorry.
Yeah.
So it's just like they could have used him a little bit more, and I think it would have added more to the movie because you had something cool.
Yeah, I think since they made Wolverine the main character in the first one, they kind of just carried that through. Yeah. Even though Futures Past, you know, he's into the most, but you know, it's not really. I didn't really. To me, it didn't feel like it was.
It didn't feel like a Wolverine movie. Yeah. And like the third one, this is Cyclops. Ready? And like he's crying for an hour. And
then he's dead.
Then he's dead. Or not even an hour. 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Yeah. And it's like
she pops up.
What?
And that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
10 minutes. He's just crying.
Yeah.
It's just awful. So it's just He just I think they could have done.
You could have a whole podcast about the third one. That's awful.
Yeah, that was horrible.
We'll have a podcast talking about. We'll pick one movie and we'll all watch it, and then we'll have to discuss what we would change about it. How would we make this better?
Yes.
Not make it.
But so this is going to be the shortest podcast we've ever done.
By far.
By far. But in the comment section down below, let us know your favorite and least favorite sequel, and if you agree with us, let us know. If you don't, cool. Feel free to challenge Starla to a duel.
It'll still be more exciting than that final battle between Belle and the bride.
Woo! Oh man, but thank you guys for listening. Give this video a thumbs up. Of course, hit that subscribe button. And this Saturday, we will all be at the Walker Stalker Convention.
Woot woot.
If you're in the DFW area and you see it, you recognize us anywhere. I know you don't know what Starla Michael look like. You know what me and Caitlin look like. So if you're going to be in the DFW area,
if you see two old people following them, that's us.
Yeah, that's it. If you see a large group of people,
just make us laugh.
Yeah, make us laugh. Yeah, it's your rite of passage. You have to make us laugh to be part of our group. But no, if you are going to be in the DFW area, you're going to be a Walker Stalker, do come say hi. We'll be there Saturday afternoon. So do that, and we'll try to do some video recordings like we did in the last Comic-Con we went to, and so we will do all that. So thank you guys. Give this video a thumbs up again. Hit that subscribe button, and we will see you in the next podcast and /video. So thank you guys. Bye.
Bye.